Right, so let's get going, and I'll just let other people in as they arrive. Thank you all for making the time to be here today. It certainly is a big day, being the 26th of July is normally, well, it is the start of a galactic new year. So this is something that ties into the Mayan culture and the Mayan calendar. And speaks of how at this time of year there's an alignment, a planetary alignment that happens that enables the birth of new light codes into our energy field. And as a result of these new light codes, we enter into the next wave of our I don't really like to use the word ascension process, but it is the ascension process. I prefer to use the word kind of evolutionary process, because we're evolving while we're in our human form. We're not ascending out of it. We're actually bringing it back in. So maybe it's a bit of a descending. So there is these new energetic codes that come in that trigger this next wave of our evolutionary process. And I always enjoy this time of year because it's Leo season. I'm a Leo. My entire family, my children are all Leos. There are tons of us in my family. So it's always a bit of a time of celebration, and there's a birthday every couple of days, and there's a lots of getting together, which is lovely. So it always feels a bit like there's light coming in, so that always it feels like it's lifting the energy and making things a little bit less heavy or less dense. And just feeling into the energies of this week, I can definitely see there's a shift. So I'm very relieved to report there is a shift, and it is not looking like it's looked for the last few weeks, which every time I've kind of tapped in, I've gone, oh, I'm not going to be able to share any great news. So there definitely is a shift this week. However, that shift is also determined by the choices that we as individuals make. So we have the choice always to choose the path of our soul or to choose the path of our ego. So we're being offered this shift. There's new energy coming in. How we utilize that energy and how we work with that energy will determine whether it's going to be a positive shift or a negative shift. So I always encourage everyone, focus on the soul path, focus on the soul choices that you need to make. Let go of those ego ideas that we have that all belongs to the old paradigm and the old world, and really start to focus on what is my soul calling me to do? What are the choices that I need to make, the changes that I need to make from that perspective, rather than from an ego perspective. And, it doesn't necessarily mean that the chaos in the world is going to calm down. It's not necessarily going to. There's a lot of stuff that is going on politically, with the elections that are going to be happening later this year in the States. It has a global impact on everyone. So there's going to be an uncertainty, and this wave of uncertainty that is moving in the collective is going to be enhanced by whatever's coming during this time leading up to the elections. Even though I am not American, I do like to keep an eye on what is going on in the significant countries in the world that have a significant influence, places like China, like America, certain countries in Europe. They all impact the collective consciousness on quite a significant level. So we do need to be aware of what's going on, but don't get sucked into the drama of it. Recognize that it is just drama. It is purposely being created to take us away from what it is that we need to be doing for ourselves. And that is the internal work that we're needing to be doing. So try not to get sucked into what is going on around you. Keep your focus inside. Keep your focus on yourself. Keep your focus on what it is that you need to do in your life. The world is going to do what it is going to do. If you were if your role or your purpose was to be out there as an activist fighting or standing up, you would be doing that, but you're not. So focus on what you do, what your purpose is, and that is to hold the light and to build a new reality. And it starts within ourselves first. Remember that it starts in us. We have to build that reality within ourselves. We have to build the energetic structure for it within ourselves. So that's where we're being drawn to focus our awareness and our intention. I did, for anyone that follows me on Facebook, I did post something on Saturday morning about, there's a woman called Aluna Joy who I follow, who always writes the most, one of the most interesting articles about what's happening. She travels a lot to different sacred sites, and she gets a lot of interesting insights and information from the star elders, as she calls them. And she wrote an article on Friday evening that mentioned that we're going into a space of rest. I was very pleased to hear that too, because I think we're all needing a bit of a breather between these intense waves of energy that just keep bombarding us. So I really kind of have looked into whether, that's something that's coming up. I certainly have felt the need to rest a lot this weekend. I'm sleeping better, which is good. So it does mean that there's definitely a quieter energy happening at the moment. But we are certainly being drawn into the space of rest, which is going to allow the integration that needs to occur from all the shifts and changes that we've already experienced so far. So really focus and allow yourself that space of rest. I'm always amazed at people that feel guilty for lying down and having an afternoon nap. That for me is one of the luxuries of being a grown-up, is being able to choose when you can have a nap. And you're going to find that you want to nap, even if it's just 20 minutes of having a little bit of a rest, sitting outside in the sun, preferably in nature is always fantastic, but really allow yourself that space to rest, because it is important. We've done a lot of work leading up to this point. There's been a lot of shifting and a lot of changing and a lot of growth that needs to all settle and integrate into our being. Because we don't want to be exhausted when the next wave hits us. We want to be prepared and ready for it. As it hits, we can actually work with it and flow with it, rather than it kind of taking us out and knocking us down. So really allow that space this week for rest and for time out. It's so nice to see this week that there's really positive, good energy that's coming in. A lot, after months of there not being. So I'm really excited about that. There's also, as this new energy comes in, there's a realignment that is also happening between, I suppose, our soul self and our human self. And part of that realignment means that we are being called to access on a deeper level what it is that we are here to do. So you may find in the coming week or the coming weeks that there is intense focus on things that need to be cleared and that need to be healed, that need to be released, that will free you from any of the remaining tethers to the past. So those kind of tethers are going to really be highlighted, but it doesn't need to be an intense process of healing or release. It can just be for some of us, it's just going to be an acknowledgement that there are still these tethers to the past that I need to let go of. So really allow those to emerge so that you can see them, observe them, and work with them to let them go. Some of those tethers are going to be to relationships, people, places, ideas. Some of them are going to be to the kind of goals that we've had in our mind, or things we want to achieve. All of that is shifted and changed because we have shifted and changed. So a lot of the things that we thought we were going to be embarking on are no longer relevant. We're having to readjust our mindset mindset to be able to grasp what is the new that is emerging for us. There's also part of this integration and this rest period that we're stepping into. We are really working on a deep level to fully integrate and to balance the masculine and feminine energies. So these are what I would call the sacred or the divine feminine and masculine energies, which have been ignited in us over the last couple of months, if not years. It really is now allowing those energies to settle into us. So you may find that as a result of that, there may be physical shifts and changes that you feel, pains coming up. It's just a rebalancing. Really watch your physical body and allow those changes to happen. And hopefully there won't be any more breaking of toes and whatever as we go forward. I know there are a couple of us that that really managed to hurt ourselves in the last month. And I really don't see that kind of energy happening, because it's more of a solid grounding and that happens with the integration, rather than something that makes us feel all spacey. So it really is the coming together of all these changes and all these shifts that we've been moving through. There is also one of the key factors in this is, of course, maintaining balance for ourselves. So you need to look in and see in your day-to-day life, where are you out of balance? Where are you working too hard, working too late, not eating properly, not exercising, or eating too much or eating too little, or, where is it that you're out of balance? Really allow yourself to focus on the physical, because the physical vehicle is the one that is integrating all of these energies right now. So that needs to really be balanced. I've been getting this, I don't like cleansers, but I have been getting this message that I need to go on a cleanse, because there's a reset that is happening in my body that needs to be supported, and a cleanse will support that. So I'll be doing a cleanse. I think that's kind of a lot of it. Is there anything anyone would like to share, or any questions you have, so I can tap in deeper?
I really liked what you said about we may be descending instead of ascending. That makes so much sense to me. And as I was sitting on the porch this morning watching my dog walk around the yard, I heard that our ego is waiting for our soul to ascend, and our soul will be our ego's guide, and it will easily evolve into allowing the soul to guide it. It's really interesting. So that concept of descending really resonated with me. Thank you.
That's right. I agree. And then Elizabeth Rose recently feels like the divine mask is getting stronger on the earth plane. Divine masculine. I wondered what that was. Divine masculine is getting stronger. Yes, I agree. And I think as that divine masculine gets stronger and makes its presence more felt, we are going to want to actively start making the changes that we need to make in our lives and in our world. So I agree. It feels like we're coming out of that very feminine space, and more into an action-orientated space. But the rest is needed first. Don't forget the rest. And then Fiorenza, I'm finding that this is a bizarre moment of extreme clarity, seeing things without veils and responding to it, which is not always easy. Having a difficult time being patient and at times being kind. Yes. I think that the extreme clarity is something that we're all experiencing. It does feel a little like whatever rose-tinted glasses we may have been wearing have been removed. And it's really seeing what we have lived with and what we are living with. And I think sometimes the hardest part of that is to recognize that we've allowed it and we've agreed to it on some level, even if it's on an unconscious level, or because we didn't see it before. So I think that the kindness and the patience needs to also be reflected inward. Yeah, yes, Elizabeth Rose just mentioned too much compliance. Yes. I actually got someone sent me something on Instagram, and it just mentioned how there's an imbalance or an inequality in the wealth of the world. And living in South Africa, it's a third world country. Poverty is something that we see in our face every day. And you can really see the difference between those that have and those that don't have. You just have to drive along one particular stretch of the road and you can see it happening. And someone sent me this thing on Instagram about how there's so much inequality, and how there are, I think it is 10 people in the world, or 10 families in the world who literally hold all the wealth, and what companies they own. And I suddenly thought, I'm supporting those companies. I'm giving more money to those people. And I suddenly realized how unconsciously I was adding to that inequality, and I kind of looked at it and I thought, well, how do I pull myself back from that and start supporting, local people and people I know, so that I can spread some of the wealth that way. And it was just something, like we're unconsciously buying into all of the stuff and adding to that compliance, and how we need to become more conscious of that. And then Nancy didn't really think about how my patience has been wearing thin lately. Oh, yeah.
I didn't hang up on my sister last night, but I did terminate our conversation when she was spinning in circles, and I just went, okay, good night now. And I look back now and go, I might have been a little short there. Wow. And with the students that I deal with, some of them are really struggling just to get the online thing or to set up their email address. And normally I'm just endlessly patient, but like last week I was like, oh dear God, I don't think I can do this, and I have to take a deep breath and go, okay, what are you looking at now on your screen? So that was a good point.
Yeah, I think it is definitely, we're being tested on all levels. And for me, it kind of shows, that impatience really does show the need we have for that rest, and the time out. I think it is really, really important. And I think with we're having to, as things shift and change externally, as the world kind of falls apart more and more, we're having to adapt all the time. So, there's nothing really stable. So every day we're stepping into the day without knowing what we're going to be faced with. And that's exhausting. There's no, I kind of think, well, what happened to the time where I knew that I got up at this time and I took the children to school and I fetched them at that time and I had my day planned and I knew exactly. Now it's half the time it's chaos. I don't even know what's happening with my daughter's schooling. Probably shouldn't say that, but I hope like hell she's got it under control, because I know nothing about what's happening there. And I keep getting these emails and from teachers, and I just don't have the headspace to even read them. So it's hard.
And what you said about small businesses, don't you think in some ways the pandemics here at least, it's shutting down so many small businesses, people who put their heart and soul and aren't going to survive. Bars, restaurants, little shops and things. It's very sad to watch. And therefore, all the money then goes to those big companies by default.
Yeah, I mean, we certainly are noticing it here. As in South Africa, we've got that we now have another alcohol ban, along with the cigarette ban, and we have a curfew of 9 p.m. So a lot of the restaurants that would normally stay open, or the, you know, obviously the bars and those kind of small businesses, yeah, they're just not surviving. I mean, there's no ways they can continue. We've been in lockdown since March. So yeah, I mean, I think that it's unbelievably sad, but I also do think that on the positive side of that, I'm seeing a lot of people taking initiative and creating new businesses and really focusing on being more conscious about what it is that they're doing. You know, they're not just doing something because this is what they've always done. They're actually going, hang on a second, this isn't working anymore, and I've got to do something different. So it really is galvanizing people to shift and to change how they live and how they do things. So we can look at it as, yes, it is difficult and it's sad, but at the same time, you know, I don't know those people individually, but people that I do work with as individuals, and I look at, you know, where their careers or their work has kind of fallen away. It is a real opportunity for them to reinvent themselves and to reinvent their lives. And it's needed. It's needed for their own growth because they've become stagnant. And sometimes we human beings can be really stupid, and we need those kicks to get us going. You know, because life becomes comfortable. So we just keep doing it. Oh, Susan feels like a nap. Anita, I found yesterday the day of no time. Yes, yesterday was the day of no time. It was really expansive and beautiful, had such a strong, profound sense of contentment in being a healthy cell within the whole, whether that's the collective or the planet or the universe. Oh, that's beautiful. I like that. Thanks for being that healthy cell in the whole, because it does have a ripple effect on all of us too. Okay, so Nancy, unfamiliar with the Day of No Time. So the 25th of July every year it's the day out of time. And so it's almost like a day on the Mayan calendar that doesn't exist. I suppose it's a bit like the 29th of February that we have every 4 years. But it's a day where the Earth actually realigns in preparation for the galactic New Year that starts on the 26th. So it's a day of preparation, really.
So I've studied the Mayan calendar a lot, so if I can add something. The Mayan calendar is based on 28 days in a month, everyone even following the moon cycles. And so that's only 364. So the Day of No Time is that day that falls outside of that. Very logical. And then it starts the galactic New Year. So this is the birth of the new Earth today in the Mayan calendar method, which is based on nature. Our calendar is based on man-made.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so today is that birth of the new energy that's coming in for this new cycle. And then of course we're leading up to, and I will write about this in my daily inspiration as we head that way. But as we move into August, we're moving towards what is called also the Lion's Gate, which is on the 8th of the 8th, which is also an alignment with the Pleiades. And yeah, it's another download of intense energy that comes in, but it's a beautiful energy. It's an exciting energy. And yeah, so maybe our rest that we're having is preparing us for the Lion's Gate.
Okay, what do you get about the age of Aquarius? Because I keep hearing we're moving into that in August too. What does that mean? Because astrology just confuses me.
So my understanding of the age of Aquarius is that it's a new consciousness that is being birthed within the collective consciousness. The energy of Aquarius is being birthed, and we're all beginning to work with that Aquarian energy. So Aquarius is a very progressive sign. It's very future orientated. It's very technology orientated. It also has the capacity, when we step into that energy, we have the capacity to see the big picture. We have the capacity to really see the unity of life and all of creation. And it's very expansive. It's not very limiting. It's not confining or constricting. It's very expansive. So it's an expansive energy, an expansive space. And I think, I mean, if there's Elizabeth Rose, maybe you can add some things here. I think Aquarius is ruled by Jupiter, or I think it's Jupiter.
Ruled by Uranus.
That's
so
it.
it absolutely expect the unexpected with Aquarius. And it's the fourth dimensional, very short, supposed to be very short bridge up into the fifth. So the dense third, very short, narrow bridge of really hard Uranus destruction to create. And then this coming into this broader fifth dimension. So it's a transitory thing into fifth, which is all about healing. And then six, all about originating.
Great, thank you. Does that answer your question, Pat, a little better than I could? And then, thanks, Lynn. Just inform that the Lion's Gate energies will be prime healing energies. Yeah. Good. Yeah, bringing in Christ consciousness on earth. Yeah. I mean, it really is a positive time. It really is meant to be a positive time. And I think that if we can stay in that space of expansiveness and being able to see, you know, the bigger picture, that idea of having an eagle view of life rather than focusing on all the details. If we try and focus on all the details, we get caught up in the details and we get caught up in the drama as all of that changes. Whereas if we have that eagle eye view, we can see the bigger picture. We can understand the purpose of why things are happening the way that they are happening. And we can understand that actually before there is new life, there must be death. And death doesn't necessarily have to be negative. In fact, it is never negative. It is positive. It is just a transformation, a transition from one state and into another state. And if anyone, there's a beautiful video that I watched recently by Zach Bush, where he talks about his experience of being a doctor in ICU and watching people transition. And he just the way that he puts things is just incredible. So he really explains death in such a magnificent way. So if you can't find it, just email me and I'll send you a link. All right. And then a couple of people mentioning that they're finding it really hard to stay positive and optimistic out of all of the negativity and drama. Look, I think that this is going to be something that we really have to work at. It's not something that is going to come easy, especially seeing, you know, social media, the media, everything is focused on the drama of what is occurring and what is happening. And we really do need to let that world die and let that world go and focus on yourself, focus on your own life, focus on what you are here to do, what you are doing, and take each day and each moment as it comes. And I think if we can learn to kind of roll with the energy of each day rather than trying to say, well, you know, I mean, I've given up having any kind of to-do list for the week. I kind of just go with each day of this is what's happening and this is what I'm managing. If I try and plan out my week, I get to the end of the week and I think, oh, I've achieved nothing. And I don't really want to feel like I've achieved nothing. I want to be able to work with what is. So really focuses on each day and each moment as it arises. Don't try and kind of look to the future to make any significant changes or plans for now. It is going to shift. It is going to change. And just we've got to roll with the punches as they come and recognize they have a purpose. We may not see the bigger picture, but we have to trust that there is one in place. And also just be conscious of who you're spending time with. You know, my sense as well is that, you know, we have to be aware that, you know, some people like drama. Some people like the negativity of what is happening. They thrive on it. I don't. And so I choose to be with people who feed me rather than drain me. So just be aware of who you're surrounding yourself with. Just be careful of that. It's important, especially now. Okay. Yes, thanks, Lorraine. Focus on positive relationships. Yeah. Positive and life affirming, really. You know, we can all get caught up in the drama of what's happening in the world, but we don't need to be. And laugh when you can. Yes, if we lose our sense of humor, we're done for. It's the only thing that will get us through, in my opinion. Okay. So I think today's meditation is going to be pretty interesting, seeing we've just entered into our galactic new year. As usual, I have no idea where we're going and what we're going to be doing, but I'm sure it'll be good. So unless anyone's got anything else they'd like to say or anything they'd like to share, I think we can get on to doing some meditating. So find a comfortable space for yourself and settle into it. And then when you're ready, just allowing yourself to close your eyes. And take a couple of deep breaths. And just settle into this moment. And allow your body to settle. And your mind to quieten. And using your breath, allow yourself to let go of any tension. Let go of any stresses, any concerns, any worries, any anxiety. Just let it all go for this moment. and for this time. And just acknowledging that this time in your life is being divinely orchestrated by your soul. Acknowledging that it's okay not to know, that it's okay to feel out of control, that it's okay to feel overwhelmed. It's okay to feel sadness and grief. And it's okay to feel fear. But allow yourself to settle into this moment now. To connect to the peace of your soul. To move into a space of serenity and surrender. And just allow your awareness now to drop into your heart center. And allow yourself to settle there. Allow yourself to rest. Allow your mind to rest. Allow your body to rest. And maintaining this state of rest. Allow yourself to feel the warmth of the incoming energies. as they move in and around you. Feel the warmth of this light and this energy as it moves in through the crown of your head and washes throughout your entire body and being. Feel yourself being held by this energy, supported by this energy. Allow the energy to nurture you, to replenish you. And to generate within you feelings of joy, faith, hope, and love. Feel your energy being restored and replenished. And allow this energy to move into the spaces where there is pain or discomfort, where you're feeling challenged. Allow it to soothe your emotions. And feel yourself contained within a ball of energy and light. And allow this light to radiate from you. Dissolving the negativity, the darkness, the imbalance. Feel yourself centered in this light. And allow the energy to become a force field of light around you. as this force field of light grows stronger around you. Feel all aspects of you coming into balance. Feel your physical body moving. Your emotional body moving into balance. Your mental body moving into balance. And your spiritual body moving into balance. Feel all four bodies moving into alignment with your soul. And feel the energy and the essence of your soul permeate throughout these bodies. And really feeling yourself anchoring into this moment. And when you're ready, maintaining the sense of balance and peace, calm. Take a few deep breaths. And draw your awareness back into the space that we've created together. Ask yourself to feel your fingers and your toes, wiggle them around. And open your eyes when you're ready. So let's hope we can carry that feeling into our week. And maintain the calm. Thanks, Susan. I'm glad you enjoyed that. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, I think if we can remind ourselves, I think I've spoken about it in a webinar previously about how we need to imprint on ourselves different things like balance and peace and calmness and those beautiful things. We really need to imprint them back in. We've been so conditioned to live in a heightened state of stress and awareness that actually I think we've forgotten how to relax. So we need to imprint these. So these kind of meditations help to imprint that and to remind us that we can access that. Yeah, everyone seems to feel like they had a nap. I do too. It felt good. Thank you. Oh, and that feeling of being taller, that's a good sign. That's definitely an expansion and a release of something. So that's really positive. Yeah, I'm certainly going to be doing that one again myself. It felt really good and really peaceful and restful. My eyes look dreamy. I could just curl up over here and have another nap. All right, thanks everyone. And I look forward to seeing you next week, and fingers crossed it's a good one. Just remember not to get caught up in the drama of what's going on. Yes, happy Galactic New Year to everyone. Thanks, Sonia. See you all soon.